Gold Rush star Parker Schnebel has been through many ups and downs throughout his gold mining career. The show almost didn't turn out the way it is now during season 1. Numerous cast members have left the show over the years. But there's one thing that has kept many people curious during the first season, and it's none other than the mansion. Keep reading to see the discussion. The first season of Gold Rush focused on Todd Hoffman and his crew's journey to Alaska in the hopes of mining gold. They faced many issues, especially when it came to their equipment. Financial struggles tore the crew piece by piece. There was so much drama, and some of them began to lose houses and gamble their remaining savings. They spent over $270,000 only to make over $20,000. Some viewers believe they never made anything from gold mining, and most of their income came from the show, investors, and endorsements. Some Gold Rush fans on social media recalled the mansion in season 1. According to the poster, they're curious about what happened to the property, as it never got shown again. The OP added that Greg Remsburg was building the large cabin on land that was never his own, while Fred Hurt lived in a hut next to the massive house with 5 bedrooms. Some said the house may have been sold, especially with all the financial strains they faced during season 1. Regardless, it's one of the many plot holes that fans have seen throughout the show. At this point, Greg is no longer active on social media, making it hard to tell what happened to the house. Gold Rush is one of the long-time running shows on Discovery Channel today. The season is about to reach its final, and Parker Schnebel is trying his best to make a profit out of his $15 million investment in Dominion Creek. However, he and his crew continue to face setbacks, including a broken excavator. Fortunately, the money pit continues to give them hope. There are also speculations that Parker has already achieved total success based on his recent social media posts. He has also been spotted in courtside seats for the Los Angeles Lakers, showing signs that he's now well off. Gold Rush News, come back to TV shows Ace for all your updates. Gold Rush, what happened to the infamous mansion? When people talk about the Gold Rush, they usually talk about miners, pickaxes, and rivers glittering with promise. They rarely talk about the mansion. It was the kind of place that shouldn't have existed in a boomtown. In 1853, while the hills of California rang with the sound of gold dreams, a man named Elias Harrow built a house not of canvas or timber, but of imported marble and glass. Locals simply called it the mansion. They said Harrow was the richest man west of the Mississippi, and mad enough to prove it. The mansion sat on a ridge above Dustwater Gulch, a town that swelled from 300 to 30,000 in 2 months. Miners camped in tents or slept in the mud. But Harrow? He had Turkish rugs, wine from Italy, and gas lights that flickered like magic through stained glass windows. Rumors spread faster than a claim jumper. Secret tunnels, gold basements, a chandelier made from crystal teeth. Some swore they'd seen women in ball gowns dancing in empty rooms long after the parties had ended. But by 1860, the mansion was silent. Dustwater's mines ran dry, the Rush moved north, and Harrow was never seen again. The house still stood, watching over a ghost town. In 2025, Logan Kane didn't believe in ghosts. He was a real estate vulture who specialized in historic properties. The more decrepit and haunted, the better. That's what sold now. Experience, not bricks. So when he stumbled across an 1840s deed for the Harrow estate in a crumbling archive, he knew he'd struck gold. Think about it, he told his business partner Jess. You don't just renovate a mansion. You resurrect lore. We lean into the mystery, build a luxury retreat, paranormal tours, immersive weekends. Harrow House is a brand. Jess, more skeptic than showman, raised an eyebrow. What's the catch? Logan grinned. Nobody's touched it in over 150 years. Reaching the mansion was no easy task. Overgrown trails and collapsed bridges made the final stretch a hike through wilderness. But when they broke through the trees, Logan froze. The house was still there. Its facade was blackened by weather, windows missing like rotted teeth. Ivy choked the balconies, and a rusted gate hung on one hinge. But its shape, the impossible opulence of its bones, was unmistakable. The legend was real. As they stepped inside, silence swallowed them. The air was stale but oddly warm. Dust layered the floor in unbroken swaths, undisturbed for decades, and yet something felt preserved. "It's like it's waiting," Jess whispered. Logan didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the great staircase. Something glittered above, a chandelier, intact, shimmering with a strange, golden light. Renovations began within weeks. Crews camped in town and hiked up each day. Though one worker swore he heard a woman humming in the east wing. Another refused to return after claiming he found a locked room that wasn't there the next day. Jess chalked it up to nerves, exhaustion. But Logan didn't dismiss it. Instead, he leaned in. He hired a historian to dig into Elias Harrow's past. The results were strange. Harrow hadn't come from money. In fact, there were no records of him prior to 1849. He'd appeared in Dustwater with carts of gold, claiming he'd dreamed of the veins. He didn't mine, he divined. Built the mansion in a year and filled it with luxuries no prospector could afford. The kicker? No bank records, no ledgers, and when the mines dried up, he vanished without a trace. His gold, if it existed, was never found. By October, Logan announced the relaunch. Harrow House reawakens. A weekend of immersive history, curated horror, and candlelit storytelling. Influencers were flown in. Celebrities booked rooms. And on opening night, Logan stood on the mansion steps, glass of champagne in hand. "To Elias Harrow," he toasted, "and to finding gold, in every mystery." That night, the guests dined in the ballroom beneath that golden chandelier. Actors played 19th century characters, reenacting ghost stories. In the East Wing, a seance thrilled a crowd when the medium fainted, swearing she saw a woman in blue whisper, "Don't go below." Everyone thought it was part of the show. Everyone except Jess. She cornered Logan as the guests drifted toward the gardens. "Did you know there's a basement?" she asked, holding up a blueprint. Logan frowned. That wasn't in the plans. Exactly. At midnight, Logan and Jess descended into the earth. Behind a crumbling wine cellar, they found a hidden door. The wood was untouched by decay, almost warm to the touch. Inside, a spiral staircase led down and down, deeper than any foundation had reason to go. At the bottom, they found the truth. A circular chamber. Walls inlaid with golden veins. Symbols etched in a language neither recognized. And in the center, a pool, black as oil, with gold flecks dancing on its surface like fireflies. Logan stepped closer. Jess grabbed his arm. "This is what he found," she said. This is how he got rich." "Then why did he leave it?" They turned. Standing at the doorway was a man. He wore a 19th century suit, perfectly pressed. His eyes glowed faintly gold. "I didn't leave," he said. The guests heard the scream. By the time staff reached the cellar, it was empty. No Logan, no Jess, no pool. Just a wall where the door had been. Police searched for weeks. The mansion was closed. Investors pulled out. Dustwater Gulch became a ghost town again. But the stories? They didn't stop. Campers swore they saw lights in the windows. Hikers heard piano music floating through the trees. And late at night, some said they saw a man. dressed in old-fashioned clothes, watching from the ridge. 10 years later, a travel vlogger named Camilla Joy filmed herself breaking into the abandoned Harrow mansion. Her footage, now viral, shows her exploring dusty halls, reading from Elias Harrow's diary. It ends abruptly, with her flashlight flickering and her whispering, "I found the door." The video cuts out. Our body was never found. Today, the mansion still stands. Weather worn, silent, waiting. Some say Elias Harrow made a deal with something older than gold. That the pool was no mine, but a mirror, one that showed you everything you wanted, then took it in return. Others say the house itself is alive, that every time someone enters, it remembers, and it hungers. The gold rush is long over. But Harrow's treasure, it's still there, waiting for someone else to drain the veins. Would you like a visual of the mansion or a mock newspaper clipping from that time to go along with this story? It stood on the edge of Sierra Madre like a king banished from its court, tattered, grand, and cursed by rumor. The Larimore Mansion, once the crown jewel of California's gold rush aristocracy, had become nothing more than a skeleton of its former glory. Windows like blind eyes, porches sagging like tired knees, and vines crawling up its walls like nature reclaiming a stolen throne. But once in the glittering 1850s, it was the pinnacle of opulence. Built by Jeremiah Larimore, a man whose veins pulsed with ambition and whose luck struck gold. Literally, during the Mother Lode discovery, the mansion had been a symbol of everything the gold rush promised: riches, power, and doom. The rise of Larimore Jeremiah Larimore arrived in California in 1848 with nothing but a rusted pickaxe, a feathered dream, and an old Bible tucked into his boot. Within 3 years, he'd struck a vein near Mokelumne Hill that yielded enough gold to buy 3 newspapers, 6 saloons, and the loyalty of every politician within 20 miles. And then he built the mansion. Italian marble for the floors, chandeliers from Paris, a sweeping staircase carved from imported mahogany. Rumor had it the nails were made of